Oh, hello. Today, very special video. We're going to announce the winners of the Badab War Kill Team Hobby Challenge, and we're going to showcase all the entries. Now, for those of you that aren't subscribers to the channel and don't follow it long term, I like to run a Kill Team Hobby Challenge, so people are given a theme, and they have a generous amount of time to produce a kill team to that theme, and then there's a winner, and there hasn't been a prize. This time round, and I've not put on the slide because it's just too horrible. This time round, the winner is going to get this lovely Demon Prince from my childhood, with two Dark Eldar slave girls on the base there, and a large codpiece. Yep, I don't need it in my house anymore. So, we're going to start with the thumbnail. This is Zimbad's entry, which he didn't finish. There's only 5 Marines here, but they're bloody fantastic. Zimbad isn't eligible to win either because it's me and Mrs. T and Zimbad between us that judge the results. But these are amazing. Like, look at all the freehand. Look at the freehand little greaves and the freehand little knee pads and the freehand like shark on the shoulder, and then all the work he did on the helmets. I think they're like Sons of Horus, like, upgrade hats, like, filed down to make them look like shark face. Really, 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 really awesome kill team. Didn't quite get finished, which is unfortunate, but, yeah. Hopefully these will be finished in time for the Warhammer World tournament in January, and Zimbabwe's going to bring them then, which will be awesome because they deserve to be entered into a painting competition. Look at them. They're amazing. I love them a lot. I haven't any notes. I've no notes. I've no negatives. I can't think of a single thing. Even the bases are on point, right? I can't think of a single thing I dislike about this kill team, except that there's only 5 of them. Right, moving on. We've got a Robert Ross's Astral Claws. So Oro went for Astral Claws this time round. They look really good. A couple of things I really want to point out. So I'm a big fan of the glow, the object source lighting on the Power Fist. That's amazing. That is a challenging technique to attempt for anybody, and he's giving it a go, and it looks really good, really effective, and it can only get better and better each time. I'm also quite fond of him going above and beyond for the bases. The Greco-Roman columns on the bases are pretty cool. Big fan there. In terms of the trying to give some feedback, I guess I don't know whether he's done some panel lining on his models. I think the panel lining needs to be more exaggerated somehow. Like, it's really hard. I'm really envious of people who can paint good, like entire metallic Space Marines, because I flat out couldn't do it. But these have come off looking a little bit weirdly flat, which is a thing, So maybe a stronger black panel lining on the power armor would just make it pop out a little bit more. But I love these, and I love the thought. There's a lot of thought that's gone into the conversion of these, and a lot of thought has gone into the decals and making them credibly look Astral Claws. And if you go onto the Discord, there's a lot of thought in terms of the theme and the setting and the basing, and when in the Badab War they were fighting, and all that extra stuff's on the Discord for you. So that's all awesome. Yeah. And they look cool. They do look cool. They look really good. We're going to look at Danleo 1884's Minotaurs. These models, like, the bases are amazing. Like, in every single way, the bases are amazing. And there's a lot of custom parts, 3D printed parts, and things like that going on here that you really need to stare at these for a little while. They almost don't look like Space Marines. They almost look like there's some kind of third party. There's that much stuff on there that they almost look like 3D printed models, which is, I guess, a positive and a negative. They have a very striking look, but your brain understands that there's something not quite standard about them. So there's that. And then it's hard to paint really well, the kind of all over metallic look. He's done a good job. He's got a decent highlight on that metallic, or it's just very reflective, and he's lit his photograph well. But either or, I really like those bases. They do deserve another mention. The bases are amazing. Yeah, I I don't know whether they need another colour or what. A little bit of object source lighting going on the plasma pistol, reflecting on the shoulder pad and the chest there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, big fan of these. Big fan of these. I think all the entries are pretty fantastic. They're just. I would have liked a little turn of that sergeant or the guy in the front row there, just so he could see the hazard stripes more on the chainsaw as well, because I love me some hazard stripes. Next up we have Florian's Raptors. So Raptors, their kind of gimmick is that they have a 21st century sort of camouflage sensibility. The nicest thing about these models by far is the bases. These are really amazing bases. Like, I could look at those bases for ages. They look really, really good. There's a really interesting texture going on these, where it looks like they've... it almost looks like the models themselves have a rough texture, and then they've been dry brushed, like they've been sprayed with a varnish, then dry brushed over the varnish or something. I'm not quite sure, but it looks pretty cool and pretty effective. You've got some nice camo going on there on the camo cloak on the sniper, which is cool. Really big fan of the bases. Big fan. Be nice to see some markings on the shoulder pads, compared to... Unfortunately, one of the problems with this challenge is there's a couple of other people that have done, for a number of chapters, there's a couple of entries, so there's the opportunity for direct comparison, which is a little bit unfortunate. This one did score less highly just because of the lack of the shoulder pad markings and things there, but it looks really good. I really like the face on the sergeant, or whoever that is with the bare head looking at his wrist computer. That's really cool as well. Really good squad. I really love those bases, and I love the way he's gone all out for the composition of his final photograph. Right, as someone who puts the slideshow together, I really appreciate when there's just one really big, good in focus photograph of the whole squad, and he's got the nice background shot as well with his vegetation, and so they look really cool. Well done, Florian. Hal's also done Minotaurs, and things I really like about these, I really like the way he's gone to the effort of putting the black inside the collar. It would have been very easy to leave that stuff gold. And I like that. I like the conversion work he's done there, because they're not just standard Primaris Marines, are they, with those big heads? There's something they are from somewhere else, or there's something else. Are the heavy Intercessors, right? These are heavy Intercessors. I'm with you now. My brain's caught up. They look cool. I think metallic... I have a question mark composition-wise whether I will put metallic Marines on metallic bases. I don't know. I don't know about that. Especially with the fact he's done the silver detail on the feet. It does kind of just, as a composition, leads to them blending down into the bases a little bit, which is a little bit... I'm not sure about that. You can't really see it in this photograph because Hal isn't a great photographer. Had to kind of nag him into sending me a decent photograph because the first one he sent on the thing was really quite like it was a top-down shot. So this isn't. They've all got 3D printed shoulder pads, which this one doesn't really show off. He has posted some individual shots, which are on the Discord for people that are curious. But the 3D printed shoulder pads look really cool as well. But yeah, I wish I had more advice on how to improve. I personally just wouldn't set out to do full metallic Marines. I think it's hard. Not impossible, but hard to make it look really good. Maybe some edge highlighting going on, or maybe some more aggressive panel lining. I'm not sure, but they're not by any means bad. I just obviously have to pick a winner. By the way, these aren't in any kind of order until, obviously, we're going to do third place, second place, and first place at the end. All the rest, it's not like Oros were the very worst and we're going through. They've not been placed in rank order in the slideshow before anyone assumes they have. And then we're going to have Gavinald's Astral Claws. So Gavinald's Astral Claws are actually really, really nice. He sent weirdly 2 photographs of the same team, and I had to kind of stitch them together a little bit. So a little bit of a head shape regards photography. Of the metallic ones we've seen, I think this was the best presented metallic marine set. I think he's achieved a lot with weathering on the feet. I really like the weathering of coming up on the feet. That looks really good. I really like the freehand yellow stripe on the head on the trophy rack over on the left hand side there. I think that's come really good. I really like the texture he's worked into the blue in the fields of the shoulder pads and the knees. Little things with this one. It is hard, but you've done silver weapons on silver marines, so round the midsection of the marine, the whole thing gets a little bit kind of the eye doesn't quite know where to focus. Hard to correct, and I don't really, you could do things like on that chain gun, you could have done some heat distress on the barrel. That would just give you something else to pick out the end of that with. But I have a feeling largely this is an awesome looking kill team, slightly let down by a poor photograph, if I can say so. I really like the bases. I really like the weathering on the feet. Really, really good. That really tickles me. But a great entry from Gavin, lad. And this is one of those teams where I get the impression that under better lighting and in better focus, they look even better. All right. We got Bournemouth Dave's Mechanicum. These look pretty good. The photograph's not the best, Dave, but these do look pretty good. I think it takes a lot of mental fortitude to paint the inside of a cloak red and the outside of a cloak white. Like, that takes a lot of doing, and he's painted a lot of Mechanicum. Like, this is a full Mechanicum roster, so he's done that quite a lot. There is what appears to be, and I hate to pick nits, right? But there appears to be an unpainted skull here on the front of this base, right? And if you're going to enter a painting competition, okay, I say this about all of Bournemouth Dave's stuff. I would rim the bases in black as well, but he has presented it on a display board, so the grey rims kind of make sense for that, so I'll give him a pass there. I like these. Again, it's another set of mostly metallic things as well. I love the cloth. Everything just needs a little bit more depth somehow. The metallic needs a bit more depth, the cloth needs a bit more. Everything's crisp and clean, but it just needs to be a little bit more depth to them. Honest Minis Dark Marines. Now there's a whole video over on Honest Minis channel about these Marines and their backstory and how they link into the Badab War. These are gorgeous, okay? Especially the freehand banner. Okay, I mean, this is... Where are we? Up here. That's amazing, okay? And then there's a couple with... there's this guy over here. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4 with the freehand camo pattern on as well, which is really good. Big fan of these. Obviously there's the question of whether you think he stuck to the brief, and I'll get you to go and watch the thing over on his channel to make your determination there. These are really good. They're not quite the top 3, but they're really, really good, and there's a lot of conversion work gone into them, a lot of thought gone into them, a lot of love, care and attention. I'm a big fan. I think a big fan. I've no notes, really. The only thing I would say is it's hard because he's going for a camo effect. And the problem with painting camo on miniatures sometimes is that the camo works, and so the mini starts to look like a slightly indistinct green shape. So maybe there's a tiny bit of that going on some of them, where, because you're trying to paint them to look realistic, but realistic soldiers aren't designed to look good from a tabletop, like as miniatures. But these, you can see the skill it's taken to execute the things that he's executed. So great job, Honest Minis. I'm a big fan of these guys as well. Schrodinger's Shredders is a great name. Yeah, that's great. And then in third place, so we're in the top 3 now. Third place is Nightfall's Red Scorpions. So there's just a couple of things on these that I thought pushed them up into third place. I love the clean freehand lines on the helmets, that sergeant stripe, and also on a couple of the knee pads. The weathering on the feet really adds something to the miniature as well. And other than that, it's just a smart paint job with all the little decals put on in the right place. There's some checks there on the sergeant's shield. They just look correct, and they look good, and the weathering is good. Now, I'm curious to know if these are gaming pieces, if that weathering powder has been sealed, because sometimes you get a slightly nicer and more vibrant effect if you don't seal the weathering powder. So I wonder if I pick these up, would the powder come off in my fingers? But it is a painting competition. I love that some of them have got the elite mark, and you've got the veteran sergeant in the back there with the white helmet and the sergeant's skull, and it's all super law accurate, and that really tickles me as well. So no, I'm a big fan of these. So a well-deserved bronze medal to Nightfall. Well done. Second place were Bionic Man's Raptors. This is just a really nice job. This is steady hand, crisp edge highlighting. Of a kind that you so rarely see. There's the freehand checks on the shield here. There's the freehand stripe here. There's the stripe here on the power sword. They blend into their bases and they look like Raptors should, but it really kind of sells the effect, and it works somehow. And they've got all the markings on as well. A couple of bare heads that work really well. It's just a really smart kill team that it would be easy to look at and go, oh yeah, there's some green space marines. There's nothing that really arrests you, but everything is so just technically great, right? The more you look at them, the more you see that has been just executed flawlessly. So really, really happy with those, Bionic Man, or you should be anyway. Great job. Thank you for your entry. And finally, the winner of the Badab War Kill Team Hobby Challenge, the single best entry, was Mr. Matthew Poole. Now, there are some far higher resolution pictures on the Discord. Obviously wanted to cram them all onto one slide. Matthew Poole's painted a Chaos Cult, and these are amazing. Now, there's been a whole... You're thinking, how are these related to the Badab War? There was a whole thing with 4 or 5 people analysing different parts of the text. These are a specific cult that was involved in the Badab War. It's mentioned in the fluff. If you're interested in all our backstory, head to the Discord, but believe me, it's all there. But these are just flabbergastingly good. I am especially taken with the wings on this gentleman here, but the vibrancy of the colours, the vibrancy of the colours, but also the weathering that's present on a lot of them, and the dirt and the grime, and the use of colour, and not being shy about using certain colours. And I love the rust on all the weapons as well. I love this guy with his bit that's fallen off the bottom of a car that he looks like he's going to beat somebody senseless with. I think really amazing effort, Matthew. They look really, really good, and you should be very much proud of the win. So, I know that you're coming to Warhammer World in January, so if you want to wait till January to pick up your somewhat provocative demon prints, that is an option for you. Or if you'd rather I post him out to you, just DM me your address over on the Discord, and your prize of the horrible demon prints of Slanesh will be winging its way to you post haste. Right, thank you everybody for all of your entries. So congratulations everybody who entered, did a really, really good job. And thank you to everybody who entered. I'll be back on Saturday with some coverage of the Salvation pre-order. So it's Salvation pre-order on Saturday. Don't forget, 10 a.m. your local time, either gamesworkshop.com or your friendly local gaming store. I am hopeful that this is actually going to be available in decent numbers at FLGS stores to be able to get yourself a discount and get more speedier shipping, ironically, than Games Workshop currently offer. So please do, if you are going to try a discounter, please do try the Element Games link in the description of every video. If you're in the UK, that does just throw a little money back to the channel, and it would be great to have everybody who follows the channel who ordering from Element Games. That would be a significant little boost for me as well, so that would be fantastic. Obviously, I have 2 screens. I'm going to be up, 9:30, and I'm going to set up. I have Element Games on one screen, and I'm going to have Games Workshop on the other, and I'm going to try and queue on Games Workshop in case I can't get it on Element. I've got my system, my idea to try and secure a copy, but I really don't want to have to order it directly from Warhammer.com if I don't have to, because of their slow shipping of pre-order items, and because I don't get that discount. In terms of Hobby Challenge, there will be a new Hobby Challenge launching in January, so look forward to that. It's probably going to be just New Year, new kill team, so paint something new, paint it with a new technique, or paint a kind of a model you never painted before, or just do something to push yourself slightly, quite freeform. And then we're going to aim to do, I think we landed on 3 hobby challenges through the year, so 1 in January, 1 for Easter time, maybe, and one for January, 1 for summer, and 1 for Christmas, I think we decided to do. So maybe that's what we'll do. If you enjoyed that, please consider liking, subscribing, membership, etc. If you think that we've picked the wrong winners, if you think someone was robbed, please do let me know in the comments, and please feel free to congratulate the winners as well on their well-deserved wins. Cheery bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye.